Hey everyone, my name is Andrew Davis, and you're watching Conversations in Pop Culture. And yes, I am scandalous like an Ashley. And I do want to remind everybody that this episode is brought to you by my good friend Preston Poulter, who runs Pocket Jack Comics, and he has a Kickstarter going on, Palace of the Golden Princess. It is an awesome book. It is definitely female empowerment, Dungeons and Dragons-esque. It's a really great book. It's beautiful interiors. There's some sweet whiskey paint covers there. And I think a few of the covers have actually sold out now. And I think he's approaching, if he's not already over 10K, which is awesome for him. And it might be his first $10,000 plus Kickstarter. So if you're into all that stuff, it's an awesome book. And President's a really good sponsor of this show. So, definitely check it out. At least give it a look. And if you like what you see, it's something that you might want to pick up. But enough about that, because I have with me comic creators Mike and Mindy Wheeler. I think this is the third or fourth time, right?
Fourth, I think.
Yeah.
Always happy to be here.
I'm happy that you both want to come here. I mean, I'm very surprised that you're here, Mike, because I thought you were going to show up. So that's a surprise for me. I am very happy. And obviously, there's a lot going on. And you guys got Star Wars fully funded and then some. To put it lightly, you're over what, like 20,000 plus?
I think we're almost at 26,000 right now.
Yeah, 25,900 before, as of 10 minutes ago when I checked. Yeah, so I got actually another stretch goal I got to announce tonight. I got to make a big old update and then do some things for the people because it's pretty cool.
That's crazy. But obviously, this is definitely a parody of Star Wars. And I think we all know the story of Star Wars. Hopefully we do. But obviously it's parody. But what is the basic premise of the comic beyond just the element of Star Wars for those who have seen it, those who have not seen it, all the shebang, because I just want to get everybody up to date before we dive into the nitty-gritty of the fun shit that's going on with this book.
Sure. Star Wars is basically a alternate universe where all of the Star Wars characters are hot females. So it plays on we try to keep it kind of close to the events in Star Wars for like continuity purposes, but we have created brand new characters and brand new situations for them to encounter. And I mean, it's been fun. It's going to be a real good book.
Yeah. Let's kind of talk about this, because where did the idea even come from? Because obviously everybody's done something with Star Wars. Everybody's made fun of Star Wars. Everybody's referenced Star Wars, but taking like the hot chick approach, girls in bikinis, some nudity in there, some other shit in there, and then kind of just mixing it up and flipping it upside its head a little bit. And who doesn't want to have a hot chick Star Wars? Maybe I'm speaking here, and maybe I'm going to get canceled for this, but that's okay.
Well, it starts like all of our ideas. It's me and Mindy sitting side by side in the living room, watching TV and looking at each other and saying, "Wouldn't it be cool if we did this?"
Yeah. Or funny.
That's how it starts.
Really like a lot of jokes.
And then we start playing off of each other's jokes and humor, and it just derives into a concept. And then I take that concept, I run with it, I write it, and I turn it into a script, and we just pump it out. Same thing we did with all of our other books. It's just, it all comes from up here, man.
Yeah.
Just stupid, crazy, outlandish ideas.
The same laughter and humor that made us bury each other in the first place is what we now basically use as a creative outlet to make all of our creations. So we have a lot of fun doing it. And all of the characters in this book, it's not just hot, sexy Star Wars characters, but it's actually all female in the entire universe except for
one now.
We're going to talk about it.
It was going to be all female, but we kind of made a little at the last minute adjustment.
We're going to talk about this. So this is the thing that I really like about this, is that obviously there's references to Chewbacca, Han Solo, Luke, Leia, Obi-Wan. I think Vader's in there somewhere. I think there's a few others. I don't know if I mentioned R2-D2 and C-3PO, Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's others in there or whatnot. Some stormtroopers.
Well, see, I was also conflicted about that, because I wasn't going to originally put Boba Fett in it or give them any spots, but I was like, you know what? In the re-release, there is that deleted scene where Han is, he comes out to his plane or to his ship, and then he goes over and he walks behind Jabba, and then Boba Fett standing right there, and he walks through. And I was like, well, being that he was there in that first one, we can go ahead and throw him in here now. But I wasn't going to. But I was like, well, he's in the re-release, so let's go ahead and do it.
Yeah, because it's specifically Episode 4, A New Hope.
Right.
So it's a story arc of.
So we're gonna do all of them.
Yeah,
we're gonna do all of them.
But it's not the whole universe yet, the whole galaxy
Right.
yet. It's a slice of a
So-
particular.
I have to ask this then. So I'm assuming you're going to do A New Hope,
All
which
of
is A New Hope. Then you're going to do the fifth one, which is, I think the fifth one is The Empire Strikes Back, right? So you're going to do the fifth one, then you're going to do the sixth one, and then you're going to go to one?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I love this. I love this. I love the concept of this, right? So I love the fact that you're even doing it in the original order. Are you going to wait 30 years to do it though, as well?
Yeah, we're not. No. It's going to come out pretty quick.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help the joke. I just couldn't help the joke because, but what is this like? Because obviously people love Star Wars, and that's what I think is so great about this is that obviously everybody's done something with Star Wars, as I was stating, but I've never seen something like this, and I just think it's funny, right? I don't really know. I'm not expecting a masterpiece out of this, right? But I'm expecting something that's going to be like, oh, that's really funny, and just the concept. And then when I told my friend the other day, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm interviewing Mike and Mindy Wheeler, and they have a book called, A New Ho, and my friend just started laughing. He just started laughing because it's so ridiculous.
It is.
I don't know how to explain it, but like, what is even this like to even be like at 26,000? Because it's. No offense, but this is such a dumb idea that's so brilliant at the same time. Like, I don't know.
That's how all of our shit works. The original concept was boobs. On the boobs number 1, we said it's so dumb it might just work, and it did.
Yep, the intro video goes boof as this dancing says, an idea so crazy it just might work. That's kind of what we just
and like no one has ever come out. No one's come out with, like, in all the years of comics, no one's come out with a comic called Boobs. Why not?
Yeah, and they've done all the kinds of May the 4th covers and all that, but they never actually went all the way with a hat
on the covers. They'll put boobs all in the comics, but they don't have a comic called Boobs. Why not?
Yeah, we're just ahead of the curve, Andrew.
And it's kind of crazy being at shows and watching customers walk by our tables, right? And they look at our shit and they look at it, they see it, and they look away, and then they look right back and they're like, what the fuck are these people doing?
We love that reaction.
Boobs, we have Trip Story, we have G-Busters now. Like, I mean, it's crazy. All of these properties are just starting to pile up.
In 40 years, it'll be seen as an intellectual. It'll be a philosophy at that point, Andrew. It may be stupid now, but when we're in Idiocracy with the world wrestler champion president, they're going to look at our stuff and think about how philosophical we were. Okay?
Because the reason why I bring this up is that I think people have forgotten. I think what you two have hit on with what you've done with Trip Story and Boobs, and especially with Trip Story and G-Busters, and this, more importantly than Boobs, is that comics are meant to be fun.
They are.
And I'll be honest, and I'm going to get real, a little bit sentimental, and it's okay if people make fun of me, but life is hard, right? Mm-hmm. Shit happens to everybody. Bad things happen to people. And guess what? This is why we want to watch a show. Law and Order is a great example of this, where you have a bunch of good cops catching a bad guy. And you need that, and it's 45 minutes of that or an hour, and 90% of the time they're going to catch the person who committed the crime, and they're going to put them in jail or do something, or some form of justice is going to be restored. And I think people forget that comics are supposed to be that too. I don't want to read some fucked up, disaster, heartbreaking story that's going to rip me to shreds and ruin my fucking life when my life is already hard. Every once in a while, it's fun to read something that's masterful. But at the same time, sometimes I just want to read something stupid, and that's going to make me laugh. And I think that's what you two have hit, because I hate to say this, but like, the world's a fucked up place right now.
Yeah, it is.
Right? Yeah. I completely agree. In fact, I think that's been a sort of saving grace in our own life, because it has been hard, and the economy has been hard, and comics themselves, the industry is really hard and full of crap and full of toxicity. So this was a very good outlet for Mike to turn all of the negativity into something positive with boobs too, especially boobs, being that was the first one that we launched. That was his intent, was to channel all of that and instead make it fun. And so yeah, absolutely. That's what we crave. And
Not
I
just
know
that,
there's
it was
a lot of
also to
other
slam
adults.
everybody that we hated. Like
Oh,
let's
it's so
not get
much
that
fun.
skewed.
Oh, the thing is, we're laughing the whole time we're making it, and
Oh,
other
yeah,
people
yeah.
are too. They're enjoying the content, and that's what it's for. Even people that hate us, they might look at the campaign and they go, "Ha ha!" and they laugh a little bit, and I go, "That's it. That's what it's for.
That's
It's,
it.
you
Yeah.
laughed. We got you. We won."
So let's actually even talk about that too, because obviously, how much did boobs do? The first campaign.
The first one did 28,000.
Yeah, right around there.
The second one did 24 because we slashed our prices in half.
21, and it was a shorter
21.
campaign, so
Yeah.
it was very comparable in sales,
Yeah.
I'd say.
And then
Yeah.
Trip Story only did 7,500. But it's weird. It didn't do well on Kickstarter, but at shows, that's all that sells. Like it's Trip Story all day at shows in person. And then also
Yeah, they love it.
D-Busters did 35,000. And then now on this one, we're almost at 26. And we still got
I think you know the question I'm going to ask is that one of the things is that obviously you guys get some hate, you get some challenges, you also get some support. And I mean, this is my argument is that I can't argue with somebody raising money or funding a lot of money. Once you start funding over $10,000 relatively consistently every time you do a campaign, and maybe every once in a while you have a blip here or there, you know, it's hard to argue with success whether you like the person or you don't. And so there's plenty of people I don't like in comics, but they're doing 25,000, and I can say I don't like you as a person, but I have to respect what you've done. And I think that's where this is really interesting, is that you're now proving that maybe you don't have to like the Wheelers, but you have to respect them on some level in a campaign and what they've done in comics.
And I would go further to say that we did it without having a support group attached to us. We didn't have to be part of Comicsgate or the liberal crowd or the woke crowd or the conservative crowd. We did it based on everybody that is basically a normal fucking person. You know, we didn't have to attach ourselves to a group to get this done. That's to me, that's even more impressive, that we didn't have to like fly gang signs to get this shit done.
And it's perplexing to our haters, but that's one of the best things about what we've done, is that we've made our comics and entertainment so fun and enjoyable for normal people who just want to enjoy a book, just want to have a laugh, relax, like we were talking a bit ago, that we also have very, very little problems when it comes to running our business, when it comes to complaints or anything like that. Is like very few. I think I've had one person who didn't like one Comics Illustrated. Like that was it in like the past year. Like most everything is positive. 99.9% of our feedback is positive. And that's because our demographic is full of very normal, well-adjusted people, as opposed to very radical, drama-ridden people.
Let me ask this because I'm curious. So obviously I deal with a lot of people, and you know, and I'll just use my business. I deal with normal clients on eBay, and I deal with the crazy ones, right? The normal person says, dude, I get it. That tops with an autograph is going to take 100 days. I bought it from you because I know for a fact that that's going to just take forever for you to get it. I understand that's just the way it works with tops. And the person's like, okay, cool. Perfect. Makes sense, right? But then you have the person saying 3 hours later, where's my fucking card? And I'm like, dude, the payment didn't even process yet. Like, you got to calm the fuck down. And so I guess the way I'm going to relate this back to comics is that I don't know how big the radical groups are in comics right now. I think that
they're pretty big.
I mean, are they? Because again, I deal with comics maybe 35% of the time now. and I'm dealing with wrestlers, I'm dealing with cosplayers, and I'm dealing with voice actors. And so I don't experience the same radical hate because I'm not in those circles as much as everybody else. And when it gets too hot, I take a sabbatical and I'll do 3 voice actors and I'll be gone for a week and it dies down. So I have that privilege. But like, I don't know if the radical groups are big or if they're just really fucking loud.
They're pretty big. I mean, there's a substantial amount of people. I mean, you look at how many backers EVS gets, and Chuck Dixon and what's his name, Mike Barron, and look at how many backers Polito's getting. I mean, and Polito has his own segment. He's a segment within it of itself. He's done great stuff for his business and himself, and I think that he is a case study in how to be successful in this sphere. Even though I don't agree with some of his tactics sometimes in regards to his mode of operations when it comes to frivolous lawsuits and stuff. But
Yeah, I asked the question because I genuinely don't know.
Yeah, they are really big. I mean, and they have a lot of support. There's a lot of guys out there that are segmented for the Rippaverse. There's a lot of guys out there that are segmented for Comicsgate. There's a lot of guys that are segmented out there for Polito. There's a lot of guys that are segmented out there for Sean Hidachko and Comics Elite. They have a big following.
Every creator has their own radical following. I'd say
it's kind of
the more radical the creator themselves are, though, or the more niche they are, the worse it is for them. So that's where I come back to our demographic just generally likes carefree, funny stuff. So we don't have a lot of problems, and I would even say we don't have radicalism. We just have pretty normal people. But talking about Polito, so his brand is all the dark gothic stuff. So if you start looking at people that troll us from his group, for example, they're usually like employees of his, or they're very, very old, not old, I didn't mean to say that, like biker, I mean the nostalgia 90s, which kind of overlaps with the 90s Liefeld nostalgia, and he has his own radical fan base that all like 90s stuff. So it really is like, you look at the creator, you look at what they produce, and go to the extreme of whatever that is, and that's who their radical followers are. And Ethan has that too. He's got some radical 90s guys. And vice versa. In DC, you have the more like the more feminist agenda stuff, and you'll have those radicals over there following those creators. So yeah, it's pretty much everywhere. It's pretty much everywhere with any well-established creator. You'll get a radical group, and if you butt heads with that creator in any way, or they don't like you in any way, or their employees don't like you in any way, they will troll you, the other creator, for disagreeing with their gods. That's how it works.
Yeah, no. I again, maybe I was viewing radical differently, in which I was thinking more along the lines of potential. Actually, I lost my train of thought, but that makes sense. But again, I don't experience radicalism, and I want to be a normal person, because what's the saying? And I forgot the guy who wrote the book. I was just it's on my read list. He wrote the book that Republicans buy sneakers too. And I think this is a real problem in comics right now, where don't you want to sell your book to everyone? And if you have a radical attitude and you have a crazy approach and your fans go after people, doesn't that hurt your business to some degree? Because I don't want to be around people who are insane. And I say that nicely. And I don't want to be around hatred. Because all of a sudden, every time there's hatred, it kind of kills my vibe. And I think it's actual detrimental to business, and I think it's a real issue. And maybe I'm being optimistic, I don't know, but like, I just want to buy comics from people without fucking drama.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that too, but I mean, I also see the benefit of curating your audience in a little bit. I don't know how to put this. It's good to piss people off every once in a while, so you get rid of the idiots, so they don't buy your shit and then refund on you. Does that make sense? Or cause you problems later on.
Yeah, because they're
so I
Yeah.
have consistently curated, like if you look at my Facebook, I have curated my audience on Facebook, and I'm getting, anywhere between 500 to 1,000 likes on my posts, like consistently now. I have curated my audience because every once in a while I will post some off the wall shit that I believe personally, and that gets the crazy people away from me. They're like, oh, well, fuck you, I don't like you, and I'll block you. And I'm like, good, do that. I don't want you to buy my shit anyway because you're fucking nuts, and I don't want to deal with you later on. It's better you leave now. Yeah, so I have done that over the last 10 years since we've been back, and I think that is partially why we are so successful and we can launch stuff now. Like if you look at Star Wars, there's not even an interior page one drawn on that campaign, and I've already made 26 grand because people know what to expect from us at this point. Like we're selling a book that hasn't even been fucking drawn yet, and making over $25,000 on it
because they know we'll deliver. We have a history
because they know what to expect from us.
So this is interesting because obviously I'm in a whole different segment where I'm just selling baseball cards, basketball cards, comics online on eBay, and I have repeat customers, but also I have brand new customers. And look, I could tell when a customer is going to be a dick, and I just block them immediately before they buy something because it's just the behavior. It's the question they ask me. There's a question that somebody asks me, and I know they're going to be difficult, so I just block them. I just block them. I don't say anything, and they can't buy from me. And look, people are going to get through the cracks. No matter which way you put it, people are going to get through the cracks one way or another. Yeah. But for the most part, I'm not going to post anything fucking crazy up on eBay because I'm like, you just want to buy a Caitlin Clark card? Sure, I'll sell it to you. But also, I'm just selling you an item, right? It's a little bit different than having a personal connection with people. And so that's why I'm so curious about this, because I'm in a very different segment and I don't want to do what you guys do. And when anybody in comics do, I just want to sell my fucking shit to you and I want you to be happy with it. And that's it. And that's where I'm at. Yeah. So but
we live in a weird world. Yeah. Like it's kind of impossible, Andrew, it kind of is to not be personally attacked because we live in this very digitally integrated world.
I know all about it. 45 minutes. It was not fun. It was not fun.
Yeah. It was not fun. The last kind of time that we all had something that was so successful that everyone could enjoy, and not even everyone did, was Harry Potter. That was pretty much the end of an era. After that, people started it started becoming more and more this. They started even ripping apart Harry Potter and the Christian, radical, Christian groups. They didn't like Harry Potter. So there was still that, but it's still the most successful book franchise in numbers. It's a $17.1 billion franchise. I don't think we'll ever be able to get back to that peak level of success for quite a while, because our conflicts are all very transparent. And I see your side of it. And then as soon as Mike started talking, I realized he does have a very good flip side to that. And the truth is, you can't control what other people lie about you online. And in this digitally integrated world, there is a lot of that. Mike and I have come across a lot of that. It's very competition based. That's how people compete nowadays. They spread bad rumors about you. So in that light, sort of the best way to combat that is to do what Mike said, is to be very transparent and open. And that will piss people off, but it's a good thing, because you can't always be. What they will do is try to beholden you to the standards of J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter and go, well, I'm a potential customer, so you should do what I say because I think you not having an opinion on this is professional, and you saying something I disagree with is unprofessional. And
you know what I say to potential customers? You can potentially suck my dick.
Oh yeah, shit.
You either like us or you're going to try to guilt trip us. It's a form of guilt trip trolling that people come and do. And Mike and I decided a long time ago
I don't deal with
we weren't about that. Yeah, no. We don't. We're going to do what we want to do. If you don't like it, don't.
I get it. And look, I don't negotiate. When somebody tries to bully me on eBay and like, you're going to give me a refund, I'm like, go right to eBay and we'll handle it that way. And I say, if I lose the fight, I'll lose the fight. I had a credit card dispute against me and I brought the thing down and I won that fight. And I was very happy about that situation. It was annoying because, when it's a $200 book and somebody's trying to fuck with you, $200 is a decent amount of money to fight for. I think it is. You know, and when you have to wait 8.5 weeks to get that shit resolved, it's annoying because it's just like I could have made some money on that $200. You know, that $200 cost me $8 because at a 4.5% monthly interest high yield savings account, that's about $8. So that was the only thing I was annoyed about. But I said, go to eBay or go to your credit card company and we'll handle it that way. I'm not gonna go fucking refund you money unless I'm in the wrong. And books have been damaged, and I fixed that problem. And so, but again, people have lied about me on bad feedback, and I'm like, okay, you could go do whatever you want to fucking do. I got plenty of good customers, and fuck you. So
Right.
I get it, but like I can't control what somebody thinks about me. And if somebody has an issue with who I interview, well, that's their problem. It's not my problem.
Yep. Yeah, it's a weird world that you kind of have to, it's a totally different playing field. And that's the best way that we found out about, or we've figured out how to navigate it and find success. But if you pay close attention, our posts, if there are any sort of controversy in them, are usually like 100% of the time geared towards advocating against a certain stance, like for fans, for customer service, for readers, in favor of them, in support of indie creators, in support of the industry. Whereas some creators just spit vitriol all day long, hate, 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 and it's unnecessary, unjustified, slanderous. We don't do that. And that's why we also have a
And
newspaper,
also,
and we do
yeah,
satire.
with Comics Illustrated, we have spent more time promoting indie creators and their projects since October of last year than I think anybody else in this sphere. I mean, can you name one other person or set of creators that have done what we've done in regards to promotion and promoting other people and giving them opportunities and chances and exposing them to everybody other than us?
We try. We gave under 800 free copies of the book at C2E2. So everyone in all of our issues got all that exposure to the foot traffic without even being there. So we have tried. We've done a lot of positive too, but despite what people say.
Let me ask you a question
we-
about even just posting, because I saw a post today. 101 Kickstarter crowdfunding. I don't know if you saw the post, but like some of it was don't give out stretch goals and free items because they go straight on eBay, and we all know that, and it's a waste of money, and you should set it at $1 and see who really wants that free shit. And I was kind of looking at this post, and I'm like, this is a fucked up post. And so, like, I'm starting to see a lot of people talk a lot of crazy shit in all these groups, and I don't think half the people know what they're talking about. Where I was thought, and I'm curious how you guys feel, because when you were saying about vitriol and even posting, I think there's a lot of crazy bullshit talk going on right now in this industry. Because I always thought the point of a stretch goal, and I'm curious what you two think about before we get to the nitty gritty. Because there's a reason why I'm setting up this way is that because you guys have a very nice $50,000 stretch goal on your book, but I always thought stretch goals and a bunch of shit like that was to encourage people and to reward your backers.
Yeah, and that's what it's about.
Yeah.
And I think we'll still continue to do that. We don't have any plans of changing from that. People that think that people don't like the stretch goals, I mean, they're absolutely insane. Because I mean, all you have to do is just talk to your backers. Are they not talking to their backers? I mean, they will tell you straight up that they love all the free tchotchkes and shit, that they enjoy this stuff.
I haven't seen many stretch goals. It's very rare that I'll see a stretch goal on eBay. It's very rare.
I don't give a shit where they put it. I don't even if they put it on eBay, let them. That's their reward. That's their reward for backing the Kickstarter. Let them do what they want to with it.
They think it's worth money. They think that people will buy it.
It's
That's
something
really cool.
that you can't get anywhere else.
I'll throw it this way, right? So I've gotten some awesome stretch goals, right? Like I got a shot glass as a stretch goal. Like I use that shot glass to pour myself a drink. You think that thing's going up on eBay? I fucking use it every week. My mom uses it. People in my house use it all the time because it's not, they don't even know what it is. It's like the logo of the comic. What's cool about it though is that it's a useful stretch goal. And like I'm reading this thing and it's like Kickstarter 101, and I'm like, you're gonna take away stretch goals from me? What the fuck? Like, and this is what I mean, where like I found that statement to be full of hate. I didn't find it to be hateful. I found it to be
I think it's just
anti-backer.
greedy. I think it's greedy.
Mhm.
That's like the creators trying to be greedy, saying, "Oh no, I'm going to keep more of your money." I mean, it's not even your money to begin with. It's the backers' money. You know, you got to give them something.
It's a thank you. Are you grateful or not? I have a hard time not giving out more for free. You know, I wish I had to cut back. I gave a lot of stretch goals on Boobs 1, and I had to cut back a little bit because we are doing this full time now. This is our full-time job. When I started Boobs 1 and Boobs 2 and even Trip Story, it wasn't. It was only during, I think, G-Busters that it became our full-time job. So I
Mhm.
had to hone on my expenses a little bit and make sure that our costs and our living expenses and campaigns and schedules and all that. But if I could, I'd give away free stuff like all the time because I think it's really cool that we're able to do what we do because of the support. I'd give them free everything if we could, because hell yeah, they make it able so we can create things. That's the coolest shit in the world. Excuse my language. Coolest crap in the world. I mean, it's sorry.
You could
Curse.
curse on your I don't care. You could
But-
curse on the show. It's not.
Yeah, and we have a lot of stuff in the pipeline too. I mean, we've got Puppet that's going to be coming out soon.
So-
We've got
let's-
Barbarian.
Yeah. So
Go ahead.
you mentioned something about doing it full time now. So what is
Mhm.
that like? Because that's a
It's
big.
awesome.
I mean, and the
yeah,
reason
it's
why
like
I
a
asked is
dream.
Yeah,
'cause-
it's like this is all we do. We sit at home and we do this. It's
Yeah.
crazy. We have to like make excuses to go outside now.
Yeah, we
It's
do.
crazy. We're like, hey, we really need to get outside. Okay, we have to go for a walk or something.
because the reason why I bring this up is that I don't think I'm ever gonna run my eBay business full time. I like it, and it's obviously growing, and it's evolving, and I like where it's going, and I like having that extra money to do what I want with. But I also like my day job. I also work 4 days from home, and I like my health insurance. And given my circumstance, foreseeable in the next few years, and requiring a few more surgeries potentially, I'd rather keep my health insurance for a while because that's very much an advantage. It's been the best investment I made in the last 10 years. When you have $120,000 surgery and you pay $1,000 for it, you know, it's a pretty good investment. So I don't know if I could do better than that. Trust me. When I got the bill for my insurance and my surgery, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to the liquor store tomorrow. I'm buying myself a nice bottle. I was very happy. I was very scared to open up my insurance bill, by the way, because that shit could get expensive. But the reason why I asked this is that that's kind of awesome though too, because how many people in comics get to do this full time?
Yeah, I know. And
I know
it's crazy to see how many people are just like skating by on these $3,000 and $4,000 and $5,000 campaigns too. I mean, it's pretty outstanding that we've been able to do what we've been able to do over this short period of time. I guess we just struck a chord. I don't know.
Maybe people like us. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Could it be?
maybe.
Do
Maybe.
you also feel that maybe there's a sense of just people just want good product and that they're sick of the fucking
Could
same
be.
shit and that they want something that's gonna make them laugh, make them take a break. They want something different. And that now they're saying, cool, this is something that's different. It's funny. I know what it is. It's familiar, but it's
Yeah,
also
but out of all the stuff that's out there, they're buying our shit. Like that's what's crazy to me. It's like there's so much stuff out there, and you're giving us your money. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. We love you.
I can't
very
believe
humbling.
it, man. It is different. It is really different.
And
and
I feel a duty to continue giving really good content too. That's the other
Yeah.
part of it is that I think a lot of problems in the industry is actually because people haven't shed light on them in the right way. They've always kept their mouth shut, or they've let it's just controversy. Like the working at DC, and Marvel has meant for a lot of artists for the past 10 years a steady paycheck, but also they've had to keep a very low social media presence on controversial issues. Mike and I have we got the lid blown on our personal views years and years ago, so we haven't had to keep a lid on anything. We were set free like birds
Yeah.
many years ago.
It's
And
the
so
dumbest thing you could do was to cancel us. Like that was the dumbest thing you could have ever done, because now we don't care. That's
and
dangerous. Like I can
yeah,
do whatever I want to do with zero consequences. Y'all fucked up.
it did fuck up. There's a very strong vein of nepotism in the industry, and I think even market manipulation. And what that results in, both of those things, and you'll see them at the big two just as well as anywhere. That it stifles innovation. And like with our recent cease and desist issue, that I found out that wasn't the only one. And that makes things dry. It makes the books dry. It kills off competition. It makes the market stale.
Well,
So it's
and you
in
can
one sense,
own
it's
a
good.
skin color that was established in the United States Civil War. You can't do it.
So some controversy, like what we say when we're advocating for, sometimes it's calling out things that aren't good or aren't ethical, but those things need to be called out for a healthy industry. A healthy
Let's get into
industry
this.
is not a kumbaya.
So I agree. Which let me put it this way, right? I believe calling things out and fighting over real issues is fine. I
Mhm.
think disagreement, not fighting, disagreement, right? So I've made this statement before. I think Marvel and DC are the smartest comic companies in the world. I genuinely think that. And because what they have done and their parent companies have basically said that the money is not in comics. It hasn't been there for years. That was established when Marvel went bankrupt. Okay. And then that was established in 2007, 2008 when the
Right.
MCU was created and Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and I forget the third one. Shoot, I can't think of the third Christian Bale Batman movie off the top of my head. I'm sorry, everybody. It's been a long day. Where those movies did a boatload of money, and then the video games have done a boatload of money. So the real value is in the IP. I get so much shit for this, but I'm not getting canceled for it. But it's a disagreement. But I think they're actually, I think that they haven't innovated in comics. I think they've innovated saying we're going to just market our IP to the two hottest components, which is video games and movies and TV.
Mhm.
And guess what? I think it's the smartest move ever. I genuinely think, and I think everybody who says, "Oh, those companies are stale." No, those companies have evolved, where they basically are testing storyboards in something that runs at a negative 10% instead of running a negative 90%. And that's what it looks like. And that's brilliant that they just run and they lose maybe 50,000 a year. They might even break even. And they get to test every fucking idea they want to test it. They get to actually see what it looks like. And it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And then they could tweak it and then they could do a movie out of it that comes out in 7 years off the pike because they combine a bunch of shit together. That's what they're doing. It is crystal clear to me. And I get shit for that. But that's a disagreement. What I think is crazy though is what happened to the two of you with Brian.
Yeah.
And I think that
Well,
is not disagreement. I think that I don't even know if it's bullying or if I don't know what it is, to be honest. I
Well,
don't think
you have
it's
to understand too, with us, like the whole beef between Brian and us, it goes back years. This shit goes, it's not just like right now. This isn't where it started. We were the ones who live streamed when Facebook Live first came out. It was brand new, Facebook Live. You know, you could go live from anywhere. We were inside Jesse James comic shop and we live streamed Brian Polito's very first Kickstarter. That's how long we've known these fucks. Okay. And Jesse James and us, we had a big disagreement because he basically shit on everything that I was trying to get done and then tried to cut us out over some slab books that he promised us. And this whole rift between us started there. And Brian and Jesse are really close friends. Like they're in each other's back pockets. That's how it
They're
works.
business partners. They own Tucson Compound.
Jesse wouldn't have gotten to where he was without Brian, same vice versa. Okay, and there was a comic convention years and years ago called Amazing Arizona Comic Con. Happened in February every year. Showrunner was named Jimmy J. Jimmy J decided that he wasn't going to do this show anymore, that he was pulling out of Arizona. He was going to continue his other 3 shows, but not do Arizona. So we started thinking, hey, guess what? Maybe we could put on the show. Mindy and I, we approached the convention center and they said, yeah, the spot's open. Come take it. You'll have the same people, same everything. You can just have it. So we started contacting the talent that we knew because we had a comic shop in the area. And we started contacting all of the artists and talent that we knew and saying, hey, what do you think about coming out to a show that we're going to be putting on, so on and so forth. Come to find out years later, you look at what happens in regards to Brian's convention and Jesse's convention. It happens now on the same weekend. They wanted that spot. They also got in bed together and bought out Tucson. So Brian runs the Tucson Comic Convention now. So this bad blood between us, it goes back that fucking far. And you know, the best way to catch a fish is to throw out some really good bait. So whenever we started this thing, I was like, you know what, maybe we could change the name of this character, and we're gonna do this character here. It's gonna be a Darth Vader character, Lady Darth. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, it kind of looks a little bit, you know, it's got the same skin color, same everything, but the power set's completely different, and it's got completely different abilities, different costume. The only similarities here are it's got white skin, white hair.
Skin color. Yeah.
That's it. Skin color, hair color. Those are the only 2 similarities between Lady Death and Lady Darth. And I had heard how litigious this asshole is. And I was like,
we knew Brian didn't like us a long time ago. We knew that.
Yeah, guess what we're going to do.
Even though, like, just having a Lady Darth, not even remotely considering him. Yeah, go ahead.
So anyway,
let's talk about this, right? Because to some degree, you know, I've been attacked, and my response to that was, "Thank you for making me a superstar." That was my response, because I'll be honest with you. So I don't know. Are you too familiar with Boy Meets World?
Mm-hmm.
By any chance?
It's an old show.
It's an old show. No. There's a scene where Corey and Sean put Rachel McGuire's car in a room and then set it off as an alarm. And then Feeney says, "McGuire, they got you." Meaning that they got her, they pranked her, and you got to let it go, and you got to take the prank, right? So the point that I'm making is that what I don't really get is that if you acknowledge that somebody is stepping on your toes, you're giving them credibility. It's the same thing that Stephen A. Smith did to Jason Whitlock, where Jason Whitlock, no offense to Jason Whitlock, but he's not Stephen A. Smith, and he's not at that level. But by Stephen A. Smith going on for 45 minutes, going on a fat piece of shit, which is really funny to watch. But the idea is that, you know, it gave him credibility. It gave Jason Whitlock some credibility. So, like, that's how I think about this whole Brian issue, is that he gave you guys some credibility, but I don't think he wanted to. And that's what I don't get, is that if you ignore it
I think he leapt before he looked, and I think his hate was so blinded that blinded him so much that his hate for us kind of influenced his decision-making process just a little bit. And I do agree that he probably gave us a little bit of legitimacy. But I mean, why would you go around weaponizing your IP? And this isn't the first time he's done this. Let's just be clear about that. He's gone after Melinda's comics for doing a parody of an art piece. He went after her and basically made her cry. And it did extreme damage to her, and then had all of his fans go and trash her. And that's when a year ago it was about when this happened. It was last year sometime. I said, guess what? Now, Brian, you're going to bully me because I'm coming out with some Lady Death parody covers.
So let's go even further, right? Now, hypothetically, because we're going to state it hypothetically, people who, typically have behaviors, and people who go after people typically have patterns. Hypothetically, of course, right? We're just all going to be hypothetical here, right?
Right.
So and we live in a social media world that's now 5 years into it, more or less. Because 5 years ago, social media was not where it was, but now it is. So probably somebody who's done this has done this in a much more private setting, and we're just learning about these now. And it would be very, very surprising if that, because typically people who have patterns and have behaviors tend to engage in, I guess, that pattern behaviors type shit, for lack of a better word.
Well, the coffin people have been trolling us for years. There are some employees. Well, and see, this goes all the way back to 2016 with our show. That some of the same people and creators specifically who are in that in crowd, who some of them also do Lady Death parodies.
Dude, it's
with
all the same
impunity.
grifters. They all hang out together.
So
and I will
they
call them
hated
out
us
by
for
name.
10 years. So we
It's all the same
expected at
guys.
some point, yeah, we expected at some point Brian would come after us.
I
Honestly,
will
we did.
grant you. So I'm going to be challenging a little bit here for a reason. If somebody trolls the shit out of me, you're trolling the shit out of me. I don't give a shit. You're just taking a picture and you're just being a dick, right? That's what a
Right.
troll is. And you got to learn how to troll, and you got to make your trolls make you money, okay? I enjoy trolls. Every once in a while I get a troll and they're fun, right? You know, so I don't consider a troll to be what's happened here when somebody sends me a cease and desist. That's not a troll anymore, because now you've gone from trolling is me just doing something stupid. I can't think of something off the top of my head how I would troll you too. But obviously I've trolled people and it's fun. But that's just it. It's in fun. It's try to trip somebody up, right? But it's not ultimately trying to fuck up their whole business permanently, right? A cease and desist can. Now, at the same time, there are cease and desists that are legit. So I don't want us to be here and say that if somebody issues a cease and desist, that they're not in the right or the wrong, but it also depends on the situation. But that's what I don't get, is that, again, if they're just trolling you and they're fucking with you because they just don't like your business and they're angry with you, but that's all they're doing, they're just trolling you. I mean, that's just that, right? I don't think it's not nice. I wouldn't encourage it. It's a form of harassment.
Well, to be clear, the trolling never came from Brian. The trolling came from his fans.
Or employees or business partners. Trolling is different than trolling is when you go and invoke an emotional response from somebody. Like they'll come over and be like, "Mindy, your art sucks." Oh, like, okay, all right, yeah. Don't care. But actually going out of your way to harm someone else's business is another thing. Like Sean Hidachko, when we had beef, he made this huge post calling us unhinged scammers, a totally unfounded claim, when in fact I have all the proof in the world to show that we actually deliver and we're very reputable. So it's stuff like that is the problem. A cease and desist is also, I think in this case it was frivolous. I think it was intended to disrupt our business.
Yes, obviously the goal was to derail your business, stop it, delay it by 2 weeks, potentially get you guys to back down, get some changes made, whatever. I don't know. I don't want to speak on what the objective was, but the objective was to get the cease and desist. I mean, I think I can say that was the objective. Whether the objective was achieved or not is not relevant. Obviously, it wasn't, because you guys decided to troll back. And let's be realistic here. You took a very different approach that I actually think was funny, and that's why I brought up the Boy Meets World thing. Is you tagged him the way that Sean and Corey tagged McGuire by putting her car in a room and then setting off to wake her up. Okay, that's why I brought that whole scene up, and people who watches, they might know that scene. And I think you got Brian. I think you got him. I really honestly think your response of putting him on a cover, and it's this one right here, and this one right here, is I think you got him. And I think it's evidently clear that you won the war, because how the fuck do you respond back from that? You
Thanks.
parried him, you proved the point, and if this does go to a lawsuit, you legitly prove the point in the comic cover. There's no question about it, and that's why this is over. And that's my point that I'm making. That's why I mean I purposely threw something in there for a reason.
Yeah.
It's 100% couldn't be more satire or parody if you tried. The whole point of satire is to
If
critique and mock, and
anything, it's a double parody. If anything, it's a double parody.
You basically created causation, and you created the defense by tagging him with a parody. Like I don't know how to explain it, but you legitly set it up in a way that it is now crystal clear that it is a parody. And if you challenge it, because you can't separate you can't separate, I think it's this cover now, you can't separate this from this. They are a bound component together.
It's not just a Lady Darth cover. We did covers of Han. Han and Chewie. We did covers of Leia. We did covers of Boba Fett. It's not just one, you know.
Yeah, he jumped the gun. You're
it's not like we're just trying to make money off of like a single fucking IP. And that's a movie poster homage, the one you did back there.
Yeah. Brian really jumped the gun, which was part of why I think it was frivolous and potentially malicious, is because part of what was even in the cease and desist letter was that a fair use requires to assess like how much of this original derivative work or whatever it is coming from it. How much of it did you parody it? And he didn't even see the campaign. He just jumped the gun on one image he saw without seeing the campaign, without seeing all the covers, and went, "Oh, you're not doing it," or I'm gonna sue you. Right. And that was dumb.
Again, the answer here would have been, and no offense to you two, and this is how I would have played it. I would have pretended I didn't see it, and I would have treated it like a fart in the wind. I mean, genuinely.
No. That's not how we operate. No, we post everything publicly.
No, he means if he was Brian, then he would have let it go. Yeah.
I'll tell you why. Because if you don't acknowledge it, then this thing is just going to pass downward, and life's going to move on, right? So whenever somebody comes after me and says something stupid about me, I'm like, okay, that's fine. Congratulations. And guess what? 2 days later, it's fucking over. And I'm like, who are you again? I don't remember. And nobody remembers. And everybody moves the fuck on. And people are like, dude, did something happen to you like 2 days ago? I'm like, I don't think so. I mean, I was watching a baseball game and that's it. Like, because again, life moves on and there's some other shit that goes on in the world. I mean, fuck it. There's a bomb that was dropped in Ukraine like 2 hours ago. Like, there's a million fucking things that happen in the world. We're having a fucking presidential debate tomorrow night. So you really think if anything happens to me in comics, that's going to last any more than 6 hours right now? Genuinely. So that's my point, is that's how Brian should have played it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think it was very stupid of him to serve us with the cease and desist. Like, I couldn't have seen. I expected him to maybe get a little ruffled or something, because like I said, I know there's a history and I know he didn't like us. So for years I've been waiting for him to kind of like throw us under the bus or something. But I
knew he was going to do exactly what he did. I didn't
think he was that dumb. Man. The thing is, what makes it brilliant is that it's social commentary, and that's what satire, social commentary, parody is the cease and desist was the perfect social commentary, because it's not, he hasn't even done it to just us. So it even legitimizes the Emperor Palpatine as a character. The fact that there has been more than one.
This shit ain't over yet. Just wait till Dead Sexy hits. You're going to hear some shit about between us and Dan Mendoza. Watch, I guarantee it.
Oh, see, I gotta have no friends left in comics. Thanks, guys. but but I may have her.
There you go.
So it's all right. It's all right. No. Maybe I'll just go fishing with like half the New York Mets team instead. That'll be way more fun anyway. Yeah, I mean, I would love to go fishing with Pete Alonso. That'll run me $10K for a charity donation. I think it'll be worth every penny.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, they gotta sign that guy though. They gotta sign him. Oh, if they don't sign him, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry as much as if the WNBA doesn't win a gold medal in the Olympics. I have to suffer for 5 weeks of not betting on the WNBA. I'm so upset about it. It's legitimately the easiest thing to bet on that makes me money, and I'm not gonna be like in the middle of July without that for 5 weeks. So if they don't win a fucking gold medal, I'm gonna be like devastated because I have to suffer. We might as well as America get another gold medal. I'm sorry. If I have to suffer and they come back with a silver, I'm done. I'm done. I'm burning all my cards and I'm gonna cry.
All we need to do is just send some trannies over there, and then guess what? We'll have a gold medal.
No, we don't need to do that. We have Aja Wilson, we have Brianna Stewart on that team. We're gonna be just fine, Mike. I just need you to believe. Or as I like to say, Bo. and yes,
right.
Howie can be in the crowd.
And nothing against trannies or anything like that. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, if you were to do that, you would definitely get a gold medal. Okay.
I understand, Mike. I understand completely. No, but I just think it's brilliant. But it's all right. It's all right. But again, I think we proved the point about Brian. I think it's funny. I like the cover. I don't think he has a response, and I just think you got him, man. I think you got him. And
I can sit here and just keep hoping that he's dumb enough to file a lawsuit, so I can take a little piece of Coffin Comics and put it in my back pocket.
I think you got him, and I think you got him, and I think you got him good. And guess what? Somebody's got to say they got you, man. They got you, and you got to give credit. You got to give credit. I mean, this is Alex Stein, Hot 99 shit, man. You got to give credit, and you don't have to like. People don't have to like you guys. You got him pretty good. You got him pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, this is good, man. This is again. You don't have to like somebody to give them mad props on something. So I don't like, Joe Embiid, but he's a good player. He's a good player on the Philadelphia 76ers. He's a good player. I don't have to like him. He's a good player, though. But it's kind of like you don't have to like Ty Cobb either. But oh my God, Ty Cobb, what a fucking prick. He would sharpen his cleats and slide into guys. But great player. Great player. You don't have to like him.
There's this new kid coming in. It's going to be his freshman year. He is he's an offensive tackle. Dude is 6'5", 425 pounds. I cannot remember who he's playing for, but this boy is going to have his pick of any spot in the NFL. Like it's funny watching his high school tapes. I saw some highlights on the internet. I looked him up. I can't remember what his name is now, but when I saw him, I went back and I started looking for his tapes in high school. And this kid is pushing 2 and 3 guys 25 yards with the linebacker behind. I mean, with the running back behind him, just scoring touchdowns, just left and right.
I'm still on basketball right now because the NBA draft just happened, so that's exciting. So I gotta definitely pick that up stuff. But no. And then I'm on baseball right now, and then come August, it's football time.
Yeah, I'm gonna look him up. 6'5".
But it's going to be fun. But I actually do want to talk about other things beyond this with this campaign. Obviously, I mentioned that you got a 50K stretch goal, which is awesome, which is a whole movie poster. I think it's this one, this movie poster, right?
Breon Ramsey. He is TCU's new 455-pound freshman lineman.
Man, TCU's a good school.
You need to get his rookie card and his autograph, because this kid, I'm telling you, if you get this stuff now, you're going to be selling this card for buku bucks. This kid is phenomenal. I'm not even joking. I'm buying everything that's got his fucking name on it. Brian Ramsey Brooks.
Okay.
And he's playing for TCU. That's your tip as the investor. Everything that's got his name on it, his autograph, you better buy it.
Just say Caitlin Clark's making me a lot of money lately.
455-pound offensive lineman as a fucking freshman, and he's 6'5".
That's crazy.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
But I do want to talk about this book, though, because obviously there's some other shit going on with this. Obviously, we got a lot of covers, and these are somewhat out of order, and I might be missing a few here or there. We have this one, which is R2D2 C3PO parody. I have to say that now because I want to make that crystal clear.
And we changed the character's name too. That's C3P hole and R2C2 because she's got C
and
cup.
Leia, who lays ya.
Leya. She lays
Laya. I think, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is what she's doing there. I mean, she's got to hide the chip somewhere because
she's got to stick the chip somewhere.
Stormtroopers are coming.
Yeah.
So it's efficient. So
it's a very tight pocket to stick it in there.
The video would be proud.
I think it's so funny.
Hey, can you pull up Starter and like play the trailer so you can read the intro words of the trailer, like the opening script to the comic? It is fantastic.
Every time I do it, I fuck it up. It's like I'm so bad at it because then like I don't do it right, and then it gets all.
I'll do it, and you can just share my screen. Here we go. Present, share, boom, go. All right, share my screen. All right, here we go. All right, now hit play.
The time has come. Execute order. Cease and desist.
There you go.
Cool. No. This is. I mean, I'm gonna obviously show the covers as well. So obviously, we showed this one just now. We have this one, which I have a different view on this one, where her crotch is interesting, and
yeah, that's the puss saber.
I had a very different interpretation of that. It looked like that's where a strap-on would go. That's how I viewed that one. Which is I thought was pretty funny. This is where my mind goes, everybody. This is exactly where my mind goes. Which really means that, there's a lot of questions.
It's a cleaning device, so everything that gets inserted, it comes back out nice and clean. So.
Sure. Oh my God. The real question is that where's my mind? And what has my mind been, or where has it been? Obviously, this is the movie poster, so obviously it's a take on that one. And then we have this one right here, which is Boba Fett, or whatever you want to call her, or Booba Fett.
Booba.
Yes. Booba.
So that one's there. Obviously, we showed this one already, which is the sketch version, which I think is limited to 100. And then we have this one in regular edition. And then we have this one here. And then I think I'm missing the blank one as well, which I don't have. So
right. Oh, and we did give away a Beating Larry Higgins on Day 1 award.
Mm-hmm.
So the person that won that actually gets to choose a cover of their choice from the campaign. So that's awesome for them.
It is awesome.
It's a very prestigious award system that we have. We like giving away things. If we haven't mentioned before, we reward people for helping us succeed. So we very much appreciate that.
No.
Means a lot.
I wonder who won that. I got to look into that.
Yeah. We should absolutely look into that. We should have a full on, use the force to determine who won that. Mm-hmm. Hey, Larry, I won that. Just letting you know.
Hey, you got yourself.
Surprise!
In our last campaign, it took us 24 hours, I think, to get the Beat Larry Higgins in 1 day award. But this time, that time was cut in half. It was only 12 hours before we were able to give away the reward. So yeah, it's pretty good.
It's good, but obviously, I mean, you funded way before that, and that's the important part of that.
Well, you know what the bad thing is? His campaign he's got going on right now is only like 3,600. So say it does like $5,000, I'm gonna have to give a Beating Larry Higgins Day 1 award at my next campaign that's $5,000. So like 10 minutes in, I'm gonna have to give away something.
That's true.
I don't have these problems. And in all actuality, I don't want people to fail on their campaigns, and I want people to continuously level up. I mean, obviously, as somebody who's an entrepreneur, I don't even know if that's a word, or an entrepreneur. I don't want another person, when they do a venture, to fail. I don't. Now, failure will happen with people. I have a friend and he's trying to start a business, and I told him straight out, your business idea sucks. You're not a dumb person. It's just that this is not the idea. So I don't want people to fail, but businesses do fail. Ideas fail. Some ideas should be taken behind the barn and shot. I mean, that's just the reality of it, but I don't want failure. And I don't want to beat somebody down for the sake of beating them down because they didn't do well on their campaign. That's just...
No. I'm not saying that's my intention. I'm just saying that's going to be a result. I'm going to be losing here, Andrew. I'm going to be the one out of money because he's not doing well enough.
Again, it is.
What about poor me?
Yeah, what about you, poor you? Yeah, you're doing so shitty, Mike.
Yeah.
26,000.
Yeah, I'm going to have to give away shit because of his lack of success. Fuck.
I know, if he would just put all his energy, all that little chihuahua barking into focusing on his craft and succeeding, we would be better off for it.
No, we're all rooting for him.
I am rooting for him. I hope he does better so I don't have to give away shit for less money.
Legitimately, it's a very concern.
I hope he does like 30,000 so I can actually keep some money.
Hey, Boobs 3 is coming out later this year, by the way.
But
It's
I
gonna
actually
be
do want
so much fun.
I do want to actually talk about Kickstarter and all this shit because we'll get to Boobs 3 in a second. You know, H cups, right?
It's gonna be
What
the
was it?
third boob issue. It made me
Oh,
think of
Boobs
it.
3? No.
Yes, yes. We were
Yes,
talking about
Gaylord.
Polito and trannies came up for a second and representation. I just wanted to promote that we are all for inclusion and representation. In fact, our villain is the most fabulous Gaylord von Schlauber that exists. I think what's different about us is that instead of hating on things,
He
because
is the
people
most
use like
fabulous
the
drag queen in
culture
all of
war.
comics.
Yeah, but we include everybody and we have a lot of fun doing it. Like we are very inclusive and including Polito. He's got his 15 minutes of fame right there. So we are very inclusive, accepting people, promoting the success of all types of people. In fact, Gaylord is the most successful character in the book. He has this internet fame beyond what Boobs can imagine. He's got leagues of the skirmish campaign at his beck and call. So yes, we very much promote success for everyone.
Oh no! I'm all for it. In which that I don't discriminate. I mean, I treat everybody equally, and I'm going to continue to do it. And everybody's welcome on my show as long as you're not a dick. As long as you're not an asshole and not a dick, you're more than welcome to come on my show. And you know that's how I view it. But I do want to talk about Kickstarter because I am curious, and we touched upon it a little bit before. But clearly, I am getting very much disenfranchised with Kickstarter. Fund My Comic is not better. Indiegogo is not better. I am disenfranchised with crowdfunding is a better way to put it. And because I have books that are not delivered, I have people who are late. I find that the products that I'm buying aren't great. I also find that it's really fucking expensive. And when you're 18 months late, I don't have interest in it anymore. I didn't just when I bought it. And now I'm becoming disenfranchised.
I
And
really hate that so many creators have done such a horrible job at fulfilling their commitments on that platform or on any platform for that matter. That's something that we strive to do is to be on time, if not early, and to make sure that we're completely transparent throughout the process. You know, Star Horse is the very first. Well, actually, no, it's the second. It is the second campaign that we've run where the book hasn't been finished yet. The very first one was G Busters. We did have to take a 3-week break from fulfilling on G Busters in order to focus on pushing Star Wars ahead faster. That was because of the cease and desist that we received from Polito. We were going to wait until after G Busters was completely fulfilled, and then start Star Wars. But because the question of it being in jeopardy and being that this is our full-time job now, we have to know whether or not those funds are going to come through, because if they don't, if something gets held up in like a court proceeding or something, then we have to launch something else. So we had to put a break on the fulfillment for G Busters and focus all on Star Wars. And now we're back to fulfilling G Busters, and I think you've got 9 pages left to do on that, and then that's out the door.
I do.
Star Wars is not going to be delayed at all. We have a brand new interior artist that we're bringing on board, and the second we get funded for that, production starts on that. He's going to crank out anywhere between 4 to 5 pages a week, and it's going to be done.
You understand that I'm finding money's tighter. I'm getting really fed up on waiting. And it's not that it's 2 weeks. It's not that. It's the fact that, like, okay, cool. I back something in January.
You shouldn't have to wait. It is the lack of professionalism from all of these dickheads out here. And that's why they're fucking indie, dude. That's why they're indie, is because they're failures in the first place, most of them. And that's the hard truth.
I'll give an example of something that's happened that's understandable. Somebody was culling a book and then they lost their kid, right? But it was very transparent. Nobody is going ape shit over that. Nobody. Right. I'm not upset about that book's delayed by 6 months. Completely understand that something happened in life, but the issue is that, great, you were supposed to get me a book in September. You know, when I'm talking about Destiny New York, Pat Chen, I love Pat. That book was supposed to be, volume 6 was supposed to be done in September. It's not being shipped out in July. What the fuck?
Yeah, and that, I love Pat to death.
And here's the kicker, right? No, he said he was ahead of schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm upset. Because you said you were ahead of schedule in an update and you're massively behind. So I'm going to get that book 3rd week in July, maybe 1st week in August.
Yeah.
That's a fuck up. That's a fuck up. I'm sorry. And I like Pat. And if he's hearing this and seeing this, and he wants to talk about it, open discussion all day. But the thing that should have been said, and the only thing that should have been said, guys, I fucked up. I'm getting you your books as fast as I can, and I'm putting in facilities that are going to prevent this. I've been through this in my business. And I don't produce a comic, but I've been through this in my business. And guess what I say to my customers? I'm sorry. I don't have the item yet. I was supposed to get it from these guys. You have my word. It's golden. I'm not running away with your money.
I don't understand why Pat is doing shows and being behind on Kickstarters. Like I would fulfill my obligations to the customers before I spent every weekend at a con. That's kind of where I would take issue with that. And like I said, Pat's a good friend of mine. I mean, I like Pat. I love him to death. But I think if you're behind, that you should be focusing on fulfilling.
We need to call out our friends in a constructive way. This is not saying Pat is a fantastic writer. Pat's a great human being. I love Pat Chand. I've interviewed him like 3 times. I love Pat Chand. I'll happily have Pat on. But what needed to come out and what needs to come out is saying, I'm putting in facilities in my company that this is not going to happen fucking again. That's the only statement that needs to be made. Because you know what that statement tells me? That statement says, I acknowledge that there's a problem. I'm the head of this company. And that, I'm going to fix this problem so it doesn't happen again. Guess what? Now because it's good business. It's telling me that you're not stealing my money. And guess what you're doing? You're creating transparency. Yeah. And guess what? I now have respect for you. So I had a friend, Jen Thomas. She runs Session Girls. She put up a scammer section on her website for Session Girls, which is session wrestling, and people want session wrestling. Don't ask, okay? It's self-explanatory. But they're scammers, right? She put up a fucking thing, and we spoke about it. And I said, that's transparency. Where if somebody scams somebody, you should put up who scammed who, and so that everybody knows that if they potentially work with this person, there's an issue of scamming.
That's Mike and I life in a nutshell. We're very, very transparent about any sort of conflict that happens. That's the first I'm hearing of Pat Chand's late book. I give lots of people hell for that, but I've never heard of Pat Chand being late on a book. This is the first time.
We just talked to him. We just talked to Pat last night.
I love Pat. But when you put in an update that we're ahead of schedule, and the book was supposed to be in my hands in September, and now we're looking at July, and it got off the print, I'm sorry, but like the only words that should come out of your mouth is, I'm sorry. I'm putting in policies in my company that this will not happen again. That's all you have to say, and you have to make good on that. And this is my problem now, is that this is professionalism. And I mean, you're running a massive company, space in between, and you're running cheeky comics. Yeah. I mean, really, you're running 2 major money-driving companies, and you don't have infrastructure. No offense, but you need a logistics and operations officer in your company now, in both of them. And I know, and my tolerance right now as somebody who's running a business that's growing is thin. It's thin.
We are actually having a problem right now with one of our printers. Our package got lost for the May issue of Comics Illustrated.
I was just about to say that. We're pissed
oh my
right
God,
now.
Dude. This shit, it's July almost, and they were supposed to have this shit to us, and the package is just completely lost. I don't know what we're gonna tell people.
Yeah, We're so mad. I gotta. Now talking about this, I was already going to send another email, but I'm gonna have to fit it into my schedule tonight. Let them know. I let them know last week when we got the tracking information because every single time they've shipped it, it showed up about the next day,
It's
and
the
we've
next day.
already been late.
Yeah.
The only reason we went with this printer, it's Comics Wellspring. They're having major issues on lateness. And in February, they changed management, changed locations, and changed their prices. And the other printer that I've worked with in the past also changed their prices, their minimum quantities. So we were in the middle of printing Trip Story, and I thought it would cause a delay, but I was able to bust my butt, and I called all these printers, and Mike, yeah, you were helping too. You helped me get quotes and figure it out. We found a printer, so then we ended up placing the order across 3 different printers. And we got it on time, which was amazing. And we got the monthly issue on time every month.
I'm gonna ask you
Now,
a
with this
question.
last physical issue of Comics Illustrated, it was a much, much smaller order because we were phasing it out. That's the only reason I had to go through Comics Wellspring, because on the other printers, they do only large volumes and their prices get very astronomically high. And so we would have lost money by quite a bit going through them. So I went through Comics Wellspring nervous, and I found out that to be true because they are so delayed. It should have been
I'm
to
gonna ask,
us in June. It should have already been fulfilled. We're about
right.
2 or 3
So
weeks behind,
let me
but
ask the
now it's
question.
even more behind.
Let me ask the question though, right? So I mean, if I was getting a copy of Comic Illustrated and it was delayed, and you shot me a message saying, "Hey guys, I'm sorry, the package is obviously being delayed. You know, we apologize profusely, and we are putting in procedures so that this doesn't happen again." You know what is? Guess what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say, dude, relax. It's fucking Kickstarter, man. And but at least you're telling me that you're gonna do something about this. And what? When we're back, we're supposed to get it? Curiosity.
Before the end of May.
Okay, so
Yeah.
hey guys, this is a fuck up. I'm sorry. This is
Well,
our
we're not doing print anymore, so this is the last issue.
Yeah.
but you could go, sorry to interrupt, but you could say, hey, look, we're putting in procedures so that this doesn't happen with any other thing we ever do again. And we're going to make sure that this doesn't fucking happen again. We're sorry, right? Because what you're telling me at that point is you're saying, we realize that there's a problem here and we realize that this is a fuck up. And guess what? We're solving the issue indefinitely. I've been through this on eBay with a bunch of my customers. And guess what those customers have done? They continue to buy from me because they're like, dude, nobody's ever said I'm sorry, and I'm putting in a procedure to make sure this doesn't happen again, or it's minimized. And the words
Yeah.
"I'm sorry" go a long fucking way. They go a
They
long way when
do.
it's "I'm sorry." Guess what? My anger goes from a 10 to a 3. With
I'm gonna
"I'm
have to send
sorry,"
another.
3 words.
I have sent several email blasts letting people know it was delayed, and even showing the message from the printer that says we are experiencing a major delay, so they know. But I also emailed them expecting the package, saying we're going to be starting to ship labels over the weekend, and then come to find out the package is lost. We are so mad, and now we have to wait 8 days for the investigation on it. And so, yeah, I need to send
And then
another
it has
update
to get
tonight.
reprinted.
Yeah, we're really mad. We're really mad. But in our defense, though, say it was supposed to arrive at the end of May, beginning of June. We're still only 4 weeks behind, and that's no 8 months. That's no 18 months. That's no 4 years. So, and we delivered October, November, December, January, February, April, or
You,
March, April, all on
you
time.
understand. You
So,
understand where my position is that you didn't say we're ahead of schedule, did you?
Oh no.
no. Oh, no, we said there
Exactly.
would be a
See?
delay.
If
I
you
see.
said
Yeah.
we're ahead of schedule and then you're not, you have egg on your face, right? That's the whole issue. And not to beat up Pat, but it's not just Pat, it's everybody. Everybody's saying we're ahead of schedule. We're going to print 4 weeks ahead of time. And then what? You're 6 months late? Like, you can't tell me that you're ahead and then you're late. You could
But
say,
still, the
hey,
record holder for not fulfilling on crowdfunding, I think, still belongs to Rob Liefeld. I think he's 13 years late.
I think so. Or is it 10 years? It's somewhere around there. I think he does hold the absolute record for the worst,
Mhm.
most botched, like, late, never delivered campaign, just ran away with 50K. Yeah. Yeah, it's Liefeld.
It went straight up his nose.
Yep. Yeah, ooh.
I don't know Rob. I do have a funny Rob story in which that I was in DC and Scott Snyder was signing at Oh Yeah Comics in Harrison, and I could have gone to go see Rob Liefeld at George Mason's Comic Con because he was there, and I decided to come back home where my parents were living so I could go see Scott Snyder sign. And I told Scott that, and Scott's like, "Came from DC to come see me." It was a very funny moment. It was very funny. And Scott thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. Said, "I came to see you over Rob Liefeld." And Scott thought it was pretty funny. So, and
I love Scott. He's a good guy.
Scott is
Scott's
cool.
great. He's a nice human being. I had like a 4-minute conversation with him about the Miz, which was cool. So
Nice.
it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. I was number 2 online, and he was just like talking to like all like the top like 5 or 6 people. So it was good. It was good. I like Scott. He's great. But anyway, not the point. So some of his stuff it misses. Like AD After Death was not a good book of his.
Right.
That's what I've heard. Is that
Geiger is
it's a little
fantastic.
bit been up and down.
What would you
Who?
say?
Is that Jeff Johns or is that Scott?
That's
Geiger.
That's Jeff Lemire and Scott Snyder.
Scott's not, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So AD After Death. My issue with AD After Death was that it was half comics, half prose. And my issue is that you were telling a lot of shit in prose, but like you have 8 pages of comics and you got 4 pages of prose and you got 8 pages of comics. Like that's not what I signed up for when I bought a comic book. I wanted you to show me, not tell me. And that was my criticism of it. The concept was great. The issue is that you gave me a half comic book and you gave me a half a prose novel. Like that's not what I wanted to buy. Does that make sense? Like my expectation was that you were going to give me 40 pages of showing me the story of AD After Death, which is the idea that people reached immortality. And then somebody's trying to break it and then they're getting trapped in and you know what the fuck's what. Great concept. The problem was that you had a bunch of prose in there and like pages of prose. It's like, guys, like I bought a comic book. If I wanted to buy a novel, I would have bought a novel.
Mike early on warned me not to ever do that. And yeah, I remember picking up Wonder Woman by Greg Rucka in about 2016, and it was just so much text. Like the whole word bubble was like the whole side of the page. And yeah, I couldn't read that. I think comics are supposed to be much more of a punchy medium. And yeah, Mike, I like the way that Mike writes. G Busters is really good. I'm really enjoying drawing it because it's very punchy. It keeps moving. The story just keeps moving, and it's one of those that you just turn.
They're here in this one place, and then it's panel and panel and panel and panel and panel and panel and panel of
like
them in the same place.
I
don't do that. I'm like, all right, well, here's what's important here. This is a new scene. This is what's important here. All right, here's a new scene. This is what's important here. And the story keeps flowing and you see transition and it's moving and it's fluid. I cannot stand writing in terms of being in the same spot for more than 2 panels. If you're describing the same scene in 2 panels, you're fucking not in comics. You don't need to be here. No.
Yeah, he's taught me a lot about writing. At first, Boobs one, I wrote about half of that, and same with Boobs 2. But it was a weird time frame because we had started it like 2 years before, and then Mike was busy working, and I had a baby, and I was taking care of it, and I continued the project, so I was filling in some of the holes. So Boobs 1 and Boobs 2, even though we had like them all prepared to go before Kickstarter, it was still kind of weird because we were like patching sometimes even I was redrawing things that I drew 2 years before to making a whole project. So now we've started fresh. A Trip Story, we outsourced we hired an artist, and G Busters we were back in it again with sort of a fresh eyes and a fresh mindset. And now this is what we do. We've decided to commit. Boobs was sort of an experiment. We didn't know if it would if it would flop or if it would be
That's
great.
what
It ended
Dad
up
said.
being fantastic. So we were like, okay, we'll just do this now. So then G Busters is something that he wrote 100%, and I did help some editing, but he really nailed the story for this one. I'm enjoying drawing it because it's exciting for me, and so I think I have 100% faith that people will enjoy it. It's got action.
Yeah, and
It's got
same for Star Wars too. I
sexy
wrote that
women.
completely.
Yeah. I think that's part of why we're seeing success is because Mike has done a really fantastic job at writing things well. I think my art has improved. I think it was well received, but I think it's also improved since I've started drawing boobs. And now Mike has been educating me a lot more on because I didn't grow up on comics. You know, I'm a girl. I grew up on more
I
girly
did.
things and stuff. Yeah, so he knows he's a great resource for me. He's
Yeah,
taught me,
I was
showed me
collecting
how to
comics since I
maneuver.
was 12 years old, and I mean
Yeah.
everything. I had my entire closet in my boyhood home was completely full of comics and long boxes, and I collected like nonstop. All of my walls had comics pinned to them with thumbtacks. Like I was insane when it came to comics. Like all kinds of stuff, and I've read it all, and I've studied so many things. That's when I went to college. That was what I wanted to be when I went to college originally. I majored in English. That was when I first started. I wanted to be a writer. My roommates were writers. One of my college roommates, Neil Strauss. I don't know if you know him. He wrote for the Rolling Stones for years. Came out with a book called The Game. It's about pickup artists.
Did he do the Motley Crue book?
Yes.
He did The Dirt, right?
Yeah, Neil Strauss. I think he did The Dirt. Let me look. I don't know if he did that one or not. Hang on. Neil Strauss. Neil Strauss.
Because I thought he did. The name sounds familiar.
The Game is a very popular book. I was actually looking at it before I
Yeah.
met Mike.
Yeah, that's Neil Strauss. Yeah. He did The Dirt. Yeah.
That became the Netflix movie, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He also did The Game and a whole bunch of other stuff. And we were college roommates.
That's crazy. I don't have any fun stories. I'm boring.
Oh, dude. Crazy times in San Francisco, in LA and San Diego. Oh my God.
I'm boring. I don't do anything exciting. Most exciting thing I've done is that I like deployed like $1,500 made on the Pirates.
Like I said, he was such a fantastic and prolific writer, and he had been working for the Stones for years. I mean, years before he even became famous. The whole time we were in San Diego and LA, we were cruising around there, and he would go to these rock concerts, and he'd go backstage, and he'd take us with him, and he'd be like, "Hey, come on, man, we're going to the fucking Metallica concert tonight." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." So we get there, and he's like, "Hey, no, we're backstage." I'm like, "Oh, really? Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna go backstage." And dude, we got to meet so many cool people and do so many cool things, and it really inspired me to become a writer and to do something like that. And then at the last minute, I got fucking terrified. And I was like, how in the hell am I going to make money as a writer? Because, it's not like I can get a job at the fucking Stones like Neil has, because he's got a rich ass daddy. And I'm like, there's no way I can do this. So I changed my major at my junior year from English to business. And I got a degree in management information systems. And since then, I had still kept up. When I was going to writing classes, like we had a short story class in college that you would have to turn in 20-page short stories every day before the start of the class. And I mean, every day. You had to do that for an entire semester. 20-page short stories at the start. That's just to get in the door. To get into the door of the class, you had to put it on the professor's desk every day. And that kind of level of writing and commitment and setting there, it taught me so much about what it's like to be a writer and to produce that kind of content on that level. It's different. a lot of people have writer's block. I can't stop writing. When I start writing a story, like I can crank out an entire script for a comic in a matter of 2-3 hours. I can
Yeah, he
crank
can.
out a 5-issue story arc in a day.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
sometimes I'll look at it and I'll just say, "Nah, I don't like it," and then he'll be like, "Okay," and he has no like feelings
Yeah,
about it. He
okay,
doesn't
you
get
don't like it? All right,
attached,
fine. I'll redo it. I'll
and
redo all of it.
and he'll have a new one in like 3 hours or like tomorrow. He'll be like, "Oh yeah, I did the whole thing again."
Yeah.
I don't function that way. So obviously I have debt and I have purchased a bunch of shit, and I calculated in about 10 minutes my debt, how to service it, what economic tools I have in my disposal, and how in the next 2 weeks I could tackle $5,500 worth of debt without touching any of my savings and using a bunch of fucking tools. And then it turns out that I overestimated my positions, and it's really 3,300, and I could come up with a prospectus in like 10 minutes with ease. And like to me, it's just like cool, great. And I do all the math in my head, and I basically was in stupid math. And but like, and then I could figure out what's going to be hot, what's not, how to sell something, how to package it, and I could build like a huge business proposal. And I understand that, but like story wise, I couldn't write a fucking comic strip. It'll take me like 6 months to write something. It's terrible. I'm not creative in that way, but I can structure deals like in unique ways. But like my brain doesn't work that way. But like I can spot trends from miles out. It's the same thing. Like I spotted NVIDIA, I spotted Apple, I spotted Netflix. Like my brain just works that way. But like you give me a story arc, I'm gonna be like, put a gun to my head, say, Andrew, write a comic. I'd be like, well, it's nice knowing you.
We all have our different talents. What's so cool about this, and which is why Mike and I really genuinely appreciate the fans so much more deeply than I think, sometimes they realize, or at least I express to them how much we really are appreciative, is because we have worked in other industries, the both of us, and economic thing here, trade war here, this and that, being canceled. Like our life has gone so many different directions, and we've worked in so many different areas. But it just so happened we all kind of like Mike and I, like a puzzle piece, fell right where we are. He's always wanted to be a writer, and he has a very good experience and the work ethic for it and the creativity for it. And God knows he has the best concepts in the world. And then I've always done arts. But I've avoided being an artist because of the same reason. Actually, I didn't want to be a starving artist.
Let me ask this: Did you also feel that, because I was speaking to somebody in my world when I got my job, I legitly got accepted to take a $20,000 fully paid further education class. I got offered a job the exact same day. And then I got offered that my surgeon's like, yeah, I could do this surgery in a week from now if you wanted. And like all of a sudden, this all happened within 45 minutes of each other. And as soon as I'm ready to do something in my life, everything just started opening up. And then it's weird because my experience in life, I don't know how you two feel about this, is that life shit, bunch of shit just starts happening when you're ready for it. And so did you feel it was that, or do you feel that just like, hey, we're all in now, so we're gonna fucking do this, right? Because I don't know if that makes any sense, but like, because that's what happened to me.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it kind of played like that too. I had I used to be a truck driver, and I was driving trucks, and then the economy cratered, and we gave up the trucking company, and then I went to work for a trucking company as a dispatcher, and then I ended up getting laid off from that because the trucking industry is doing so poorly, and it just kind of fell into place. It just so happened that at that exact time we were doing so good on the G-Busters campaign that we're like, you know what, let's just pull the plug. Let's stop trying to work for other people, and let's just do this ourselves on just this. So yeah, I mean, it was like a puzzle piece. It just kind of fell together.
Yeah, it really did. And it's cool. Like when Mike and I first met, we were actually joking a lot about a character named Sumchai. And Sumchai is a real person that he worked with in the oil field. And so when we launched Boobs, Sumchai is one of the main characters. So it's like everything that we've done over the past 10 years or so of our relationship came really full circle and landed us exactly here. So yeah, I do think that we're meant to do something, and sometimes life will resist and resist and resist until you finally find that thing that you're supposed to do, that you generally have a natural talent for. It sounds like you have a natural talent, Andrew, for the things that you do. So that's cool.
Every time I've made money, it's something that I loved and I'm passionate about, and that again, I just understand equity stocks. I understand crypto really well. I understand trading cards. And when I was trying to force 15 different things, it just never worked. And took me like literally like 15 fucking businesses to figure it out. And now I'm figuring out the correct balance between cards and collectibles and like sports cards, trading cards, non-sports trading cards, and comics. And one of those things went a little too high, and now I'm balancing it out again. And so that's the real challenge. And I don't know what the correct balance is. I don't know if it's 40% cards or 50-50. And that's the only thing I don't know. But again, it's just working, and Caitlin Clark's making me money, and so are the Dodgers. So that's the important part. I have a gambling problem. That's the problem.
Yeah, you can pretty much bet on the Dodgers to lose every single time.
Yeah, they're doing great. They won me today. I mean, they got Ohtani. I mean, they don't have Mookie Betts.
At least that's what it was last year. If you bet 2 runs under the Dodgers last year, like every game, you would win money.
Oh my God, with Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts. I think who else is on that team? Like everybody on that team is a monster. It's insane. It's so sick.
Are they doing good this year?
Yeah.
Last year they were doing horrible. Like, I'm serious. You could bet on the under every time and win.
They didn't have Ohtani on their team. It's insane. The guy is just a home run machine. He's sick. He's a sick fucking Japanese man. He's just disturbingly sick. And he's so fucking good. And I'm trying to get an autograph of his, and it's just so fucking expensive. It's like $2,000 for an Ohtani baseball. Someday.
You know who has the first Bo Nichols cards? I've got 20 of them, of each one autographed. I'm happy about that. I called Bo Nichols, so I was happy about that.
He did. Yeah, Mike has a bit of a knack for calling things too sometimes. Mm-hmm.
I bought a bunch of Paul Skeen cards, and that was a nice little trade for me. And then I've done all right with Caitlin Clark. I bought a bunch of her first rookie cards, and they're trading for about 35 to 40 a pop. And so I sold a bunch of them. So I sold the majority of them way under, but I made some good money. And then I sold the last like 3 out of mine because I could hold them 2 for me. Sold those for like 45 a pop.
Hey, share my screen real quick. I'm going to show you this monster.
Is it safe?
It's safe. It's safe. I'm gonna show you this monster. This is the guy I'm telling you about.
That's the guy. It's that one. Wow.
Look at this monster, dog.
He's young. He's in what, high school or what?
This is him in high school right now. He is going to TCU. Look at this monster.
That's insane. Well, I think we're gonna end on that note. So obviously, I'm gonna give you both a chance to promote yourselves. So obviously, we have this player, and
wait, hang on. Whoa! Drove him all the way out the field.
Well, on that note, I'm going to give both of you a chance to promote yourself. I think we covered pretty much everything. I think we covered everything, and then some. And we probably made some enemies tonight, but that's okay.
Add them to the list.
Yeah.
Again,
tell him to send cease and desist. It'll go well for him.
This is what I said. If you hate me, that's a you problem. It's not a me problem. That's my new
Yeah.
philosophy. If you don't like me and somebody hates me, that means there's something inside of you that doesn't like me, but I don't know it, so I'm unaffected. And it's amazing. So, but anyway, I don't know. What do you guys got to promote?
Go ahead, Mindy.
Star Wars. Star Wars. I'm so not good at sharing my screen. But you've all seen it, and that's what we're on right now. I will share. I'll see if I can share it, but I'm so bad at this. I'll share the most recent page of G Busters, and just because I am about to release a digital catch-up bundle, which was suggested to me, and I wanted to do it anyways. I've been really kind of wearing myself out the past few days and I've been tired. So I meant to do this yesterday or the day before, but I'm going to be adding a catch-up bundle where you can get our other titles. One of them digitally on the Star Wars campaign. One of them will be the G Busters. And this is 9 pages away from being done. So here was page 23 that I just updated yesterday or the day before. And this book is already lettered about halfway. So the printer we go through now, being that it is of higher volume, is done in about 7 days. So that's pretty freaking awesome, right? Took us a while to figure that out, but we did. So once it is done, fulfillment should start, I'm guessing 7 days to print. Then I got a letter the half of the book and I got 9 pages about the end of July, which honestly, I think the rewards said that they were going to be set to deliver in July anyways. So we're not even technically behind, even though I'm stressing out so much over 3 weeks lost. I think that we actually set it to set for July, Mike. So technically we're on time still. But yeah, that's what we're up to. So I'll be releasing that digital catch-up bundle tonight and getting out that update and informing everybody of our progress. Star Wars, it was a short campaign. We only did 3 weeks. We didn't do the full 4. So that could affect the funds or not. Don't know, don't care. It's already done. So there's 11 days left. And that's about it. DivinityComics.com is where we put all of our back issues.
If you get
Yeah, go
bored,
ahead.
Andrew, if you're bored, go read the game and find out what that means.
Oh man, I don't know how to read. It's been a long time.
It's a heart. It's a heart. Right here. We all have it.
So many things I I just smile when I don't know how to respond, and I just nod my head. Just in peace.
Just go check out the game. You'll understand.
I play enough games in my life, and there's only one game, and it's played by Triple H. Anyway,
it's a good answer.
Oh man, I have no time to read books anymore. It's a shame. But anyway, I can't wait till I have a kid. Then I have really no time. It's gonna be fantastic. But I gotta find somebody to have a kid with first. But anyway, not the point. But I'll just say it. I'm gonna keep saying it. You have to support indie. What that means is you gotta back people's campaigns when they're on what they're doing. Whether that's Kickstarter, from my comic, Indiegogo, crowdfunder, Zoop, the shebang. Gotta back their campaigns there. Also, you gotta share out campaigns. Gotta interact with people. Follow people on social media is another big one. Also, people have stores outside of Kickstarter. You should go buy shit in their stores if you miss their books, or if they're at shows, you should go up to their booth and buy something, or even just say hi. If you enjoy Boobs or G Busters or Star Wars, and go up to Mike and Mindy if they're at a con and say, "Hey, I really like your book," it goes a long way. It goes a long way. So all that's important. And then as far as I'm concerned, usually all my social media is down below, but my screen is blocking it, which is fine. It's fine. But I'll tell you it's Pop Anime Comics on X/Twitter, Pop Anime Comics on Instagram, Pop Anime Comics on Facebook, Pop Anime Comics on YouTube. Please subscribe. I have 800 plus interviews now. I can promise you that I don't know if you'll get smarter with me, but you will be entertained. And as well as I am Pop Anime Comics on TikTok. And I do have an eBay store. So look for comics and collectibles. Come shop with us on eBay at Pop Anime Comics Collectibles. And I carry some really cool stuff like this in my store. I have all 15 of those. I have all 15 of these, which are cool. I just brought in some of this stuff as well, which is going to be fun, which is coming in a few weeks. Hopefully I'll be picking up some of this in there as well at some point. And I do have this sweet card right here. So I have one of these left in my store, and Major League Baseball is honoring the Negro Leagues lately, and they played a game at Rickwood, which is one of the oldest stadiums that hosted a lot of the Negro games, I think in Alabama. And this is a game-used base from that game that was last week. So it's a very cool card. They're limited down to 99, 49s, 25s, 10s, 5s, and 1s. And I have one of those left in my store. Those sold out in about 5 to 6 minutes. So they're rare cards. And definitely if you're looking for that and you're a baseball fan, that's something to definitely pick up. And they're fun stuff. So that's everything that I got going on. And I don't know who wants to have the final word.
Go for it.
Just thanks for having us. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Oh, anytime, everybody. And that is a wrap.